What's up, guys? This is Alex here with a high-level overview of N8N. So this is the product I've been raving about. It's basically the sort of the digital glue that connects different applications and services together. If you've ever used anything like Zapier or Make, it's kind of like that, but for developers. And let me just show you. Let me just get into it. So this is like the overview page. We're kind of looking at these different workflows, and we can pop into any of these workflows, and each of these workflows can automate a different thing in your business. So in this case, let's just go into my library. So we're just going to pop into this library. I recommend everybody just start creating a library whenever you create N8N just to remember different stuff. In this case, I'm just laying it out as I do these videos based on the videos we've done. We've talked about the different triggers that are in N8N, and all these different things you're seeing here are called nodes. So each of these nodes are like the sort of the code behind N8N, the visual part. You can kind of connect these triggers to any of these other nodes. You can move stuff around. You can break branches. You can do, Control Z that. You can do multiple branches out. We have all these different ways that we can mess with data, essentially. And these triggers that connect to these different apps will get our data into this application. Then the real power behind N8N are these HTTP nodes, which allow us to ping any application out there with an API. So anything where there's data out there that has a way to get that data out, Facebook, GA4, or Salesforce, your CRM. I mean, there's just tons of data, forms. I mean, there's just tons and tons of data that can come into this thing, basically everything. You can get it in. And then you can run it through these different pipelines with these different nodes that do different things, like combine it in certain ways, or you might need to wait or switch different ways. You have AI agents, so now you've combined the power of bringing data into a centralized database. You can use things like SQL, Airtable type things. So here we'll pull up an Airtable node, or even just Google Sheets. You can just write to Google Sheets, and you can be reading back and forth from a Google Sheet if you're not that tech savvy. But Airtable is another very simple program that we'll be showing off here in the future. And you can basically just make spreadsheets of your data, and then you can feed those spreadsheets of data into your AI agent, or you can work AI agents into your workflows however you need to take unstructured data and make it structured. So in the past, it would take devs a really long time to go into your database, take all your different sources of data, connect them with code, and then clean that data, and then output that data using other code and in reports and stuff. In this case, we can, with LLMs now, you can take in unstructured data. So you can take in just plain talking. Somebody can talk into a microphone, and then you can take that and convert it into a structured JSON that can work in a workflow or can go into code. So it's very, very easy to do that now. And then also with tools like this, it's very easy to connect all these different pieces together. So no longer is it really difficult to connect all your different sources of data to your database and then connect an LLM to that database. So I also have these other workflows you can see in other videos. We talk about items in N8N. Everything is an item. Here, let's pop over to the trigger node. We'll grab this trigger here. We'll actually run this item here. And we have a code node here at the beginning that does a random 10 items. Or maybe it just might be a random item generator. But you'll see, yeah, so it's 10 items here. You can see in N8N, items are these little packets of information. So it's almost like a row in a table, but it's a little packet of information that comes through. This is like one item here. So this item, N8N treats this as like one thing, like a basket of information coming through your database. So you can see how, like you could have this could be anything. Like, I don't know what we're using here, like name, company, and it has a project ID and different variables here, and you can look at it in different ways. So you can visualize this data as like a table, and in this case what we have is 10 items that all have a name and company. That's why you see this filled in, and then each of the items has a different third variable just for testing. This was in a different video, so you can go check that video out. But so that's what you're seeing here, and each of these items comes through like this, and so N8N treats those items as individual little packets of information. So here, let's actually look at our larger, we'll do a demo flow here just for everybody. This is just a real quick high level. Basically, imagine data comes in and you need to manipulate it somehow and get a summary from an LLM database. So we're just going to run through each of these nodes real quick. I'm going to show you real quick what each thing is doing, explain the node, and you'll understand this flow backwards and front, and you'll be ready to make your own flows in no time. So in this case, this first node here is a code node. All it's doing is we're having it generate 10 random items. So there's 10 random baskets of information, just so we have some demo data going through here. And the data that's coming out is, again, that like name, company. Name is always like 1, 2, 3, 4. Company is made up, and then project ID or whatever, these third variables are always made up, so they're always different. So name is always consistent, but what we're going to do is we're going to run this into, this is called an edit set node. So we're going to run this into this edit set node, and what this thing is doing, and again, this is just for demo purposes, so don't think you have to understand all this, but basically you're taking each of these items in. Every time an item comes in, you're adding this new variable to it. So you're able to add a new variable to your little basket of information. So you can see how that would be valuable. And then in this case, we have these 10 baskets coming out. We want to make them one basket. So that's what this little code node does here. It takes all 10 of these baskets, outputs them as one basket of information. If we pop over the schema now, we can see these are like the 10 baskets here, and they're all in one big basket called campaign data. And you can see that now. These are like the original baskets here, and you'll see each one's appended with that new value. And now it's in one big basket of data. So that's going into this merge node here, and this is a combined merge. So on the other side, what we have is the other 10 items that don't have project 1 as their name. So this is an if node here, and what this guy does is when a project gets to this guy, if his name is equal, so if his name, this JSON.name is equal to 1, then he gets passed through. If it's not equal to 1, it goes down this branch. And what happens on this branch is the name gets changed to 1. So it comes in as 2 in this case. This is another item coming in. Item number 2 came in this way, and it came out as item number 1, and now it has project name number 1. And so then when this thing will loop through all 10 of our items, so treat each one of these baskets one at a time. So you see how it's doing them one at a time? So this guy will go through all 10, loop through all 10, and then pass those 10 up here to this guy to combine with our original data packet. He'll pass this into, and we'll actually see that. Let's check that out. So he's going to run everything through. Our data packet now looks like this. We can click over the schema. We have the data packet, and then we have this is like, so if we check out the actual thing, inside here, each of these, inside the data packet, each of these names is here, but then down below, it's appended with like the actual like company name. So we have 10 of those items coming out, and what we want to do is again make another data packet for our AI so he only has one item coming out into him. So again, this is just all manipulating data, and you can see how you can go through these different flows, and each of these flows, each of these little things could do something. It could be doing like manipulating data somehow, pinging an API, hitting an LLM for analysis on a report, and outputting something, creating these reports, and pinging him this main AI. And then this guy right here, when you run him, he actually is going to get the information in. So I'm passing all the information, all this data into him as a big long string. So what he sees is this is like his prompt, and he's going to summarize all this information for us. So he's saying the data is an array containing 10 identical top-level objects. Each of these 10 objects has the following characteristics. He starts to list them, and the reason it has all this like other code is if he was outputting in like any kind of chat or whatever, this other code would actually format the text for us. So that's it. That's a basic workflow. You can see how we can add an LLM in here. It's super easy. You can see how, just depending on what kind of data you have in your flow, how you want to manage it. This could be emails that you're looking at come in one at a time, and you're moving them to different buckets. It could be, people signing up for a form and they go to different buckets. It could be a chatbot that you put on your website with chats coming in, and you want a response out. So you go through a different flow to get different data into that response and then respond out. It could be all sorts of things. But yeah, that's basically N8N and how easy it is to build with N8N. Don't forget to like and subscribe.